Basically, like, I think it's really important that people know that we need to have supplies in, because they are telling us, the WEF, the World Economic Forum, are telling us that there are going to be these cyber attacks. The Rockefeller Foundation Reset the Table, if you look into that, they've basically been setting up a breakdown of the food supply chain over the past few years. It's probably been going on longer than that, but it's been like in your face the past few years.
The more people that you meet in your area that are like-minded, the better it is, because obviously if they do have a grid down event, because they did the event 201, and then 6 months later this COVID thing happened. Recently, a month ago, they did a cyber polygon simulation, and if that's the case, if it's the same case as the COVID one, then we've got 5 months left to prepare for a grid down event. So the more people, like-minded people in your area that you're connected with, the more chance of our survival. Really.
You can see that, like, the farmers they're killing off the cattle, they're re-sowing the crops into the ground again. And so we're looking at, and they're saying there's going to be no more crops, and this is worldwide. It's not just going to affect one country, it's going to be all over. There's all sorts of weather events and freak events have been going on as well, where like storage containers, like silos and that, they're spontaneously combusting all over the world, which has been happening like quite regularly, especially last year. There was quite a lot last year that just blew up, just like they do.
If you think about it as well, right, the ruling class, the elites of the world, they have regular meetings, right, and they discuss our future. So it's about time that we started discussing our future, because at the end of the day, we don't want these narcissistic parasites telling us what we can and can't do with our lives, do we?
I think as long as possible, basically, like, we're looking at, if you can get at least a month, more if possible, the more the better, really, because we don't know if they're telling us they're going to do these grid down events. So a grid down event to me is where they're going to shut the power grid down, so that will affect your water, because our water is pumped in via electric switch, your petrol, your diesel, because everything's with an electric switch. It's going to obviously affect hospitals and things like that. So it's your travel, your communication, your water, your food, because all food comes in via transport and it's all digital now. So it's like, if the computer doesn't even say no, it doesn't even turn on, they can't go anywhere, they can't do anything. So it's going to affect the whole shebang.
We need to start building our own system, really, because we are going to be cast out of this one eventually. We're going to be faced with the ultimatum of get the jab or get out. So we may as well get out now and
completely agree with you, Tom.
System.
Completely agree with you.
There's enough of us now in the world that are aware to basically chip in and buy land. We could build a system that serves all of us. Do you know what I mean? We don't need all this concepts like homelessness and poverty. We don't need that. We could create thriving paradises, mate.
So we need to have not only supplies in. I think we need to have people who are aware, or even if they're not aware, tell them that if something does happen, we'll meet at such a place, say the next day at midday. So we can come together, because if you can't ring people, you forget, we just pick up a phone and we don't even know people's numbers. But if you can't even switch your phone on because there's no no tower working because the power's down, then you're going to feel really isolated and really scared.
And I think that's the importance, Vic, of what we're doing here now. These are not meetings like the old meetings in the past, really. It's getting serious now, where people are going to start, relying on people. So can you just tell us a little bit about today and going forward, and what we see here, and are we going to be doing this kind of thing once a month, twice a month, and trying to build a network of people with different skills?
I definitely think that it's a necessity now. It's not even like, oh, we should do this. We need to do this. We need to build up with local people who live nearby a little network, so that in an event we've got help, and otherwise as well, it's nice to be able to speak to people who are actually seeing things, because it's quite lonely at times, isn't it?
Of course.
you know, you see everyone in the mask, like they're talking about on the news with the mask, right? And they say, oh, I'll wear my mask if you're scared because you're scared of me not wearing one. I'm like, well, why won't you take your mask off? Because I'm scared of you with your mask on because you scare me. That puts me in fear, but they don't say that, do they? So.
Yeah.